Hi everyone. I know it's been a long day. You've heard lots from lots of people, and I think Susan just set the bar very high. She's kept you very engaged, so I'll try and live up to that. My topic is completely different from what you've heard from Susan. I think some of the things that she mentioned really stuck with me: affordability, accessibility, sustainability, lot of things that Indians look for. And I think when brands do things like these, brands, iconic brands like IKEA, who work with companies like Salesforce, we just operate at the back end to make these values, to make these business objectives come true. And my session today is going to focus on how do we do it. And I took the liberty of, naming my session as winning the experience battle, because I know every brand has a strategy to be omni-channel, to have that perfect experience for customers. And we've been hearing leading brands today with the challenges that come their way when they want to do something like that, and then how companies like Salesforce can really help them. All right. Okay, so I'm not trying to be very innovative here, and I won't spend time saying everything that you've heard. The last 2 years have really been terrible for us as a community. It's affected our lives, it has affected our economies. But from a technological point of view, I think all of us would agree on one thing, that COVID has been an accelerator for digital. And it has helped companies embrace digital no matter what class of an organization they are, right? We've seen the biggies, the traditional retailers who never thought, going online is an option for them. They did that. We started buying jewelry online, which Indians would never ever do. But we do that. And clothes, right? Smaller manufacturers who never thought they could reach the scale and size of India, reach every nook and corner of the country, they've gone digital too. So it's really enabled us as a country to go online. Now, if you think about it, even schools, right? Not one day after the initial setback have our children missed a day of education. And it is because everybody has embraced technology. Now, well, the world has opened up and the acceleration has just begun. So 2020 was a year of shock and adjustment. 2021 was a year of brand switching. Now, with the digital advent, with customers having everything on their mobiles and apps, it became easier for them to discover new brands, and they became more experimental in the way they shop. So this is a statistic purely from an Indian perspective. And what's interesting on this slide is not really that 94% or 97% of Indians are trying a new way of shopping or discovery a new brand. What's really interesting is that this trend is here to stay. So it's not a wave, right? COVID came, we invested in digital, we are doing something, and things are back to normal and we'll go back to the traditional ways of working. The statistics don't support that. And we've spoken to so many brands during the day. We just had a roundtable where we spoke from Malabar Golds to people from Shoppers Stop and Fabbox and MyGlam. And they all just corroborated this fact that investments in digital are only going to grow. So now, while the expectations are humongous, enormous, it's made the life of retailers very, very difficult. But in the customer's mind, things are very, very simple. The complexity is for the retailer to handle. What the customer is really thinking is that my asks are very simple. There are 3 first impression moments which can make or break a relationship or which can drive growth. Now just imagine me as a customer, and this is a slide that I made keeping just myself in mind, which is, when do I need a brand to talk to me? The first moment is when I raise my hand. Now I've seen stats, and I've done it personally, that I visit a website 8 to 10 times, my 70% of research is complete before I really contact a buyer, right? Now, brands that are able to initiate a dialogue when I am in the mindset to buy will see a much higher, rate of conversion. Every minute of latency will diminish your ability to keep the customer engaged. Now, a recent study, and I'm just referring to the facts here, only 7% of the brands were able to respond to a customer within 5 minutes of them reaching out to you on a digital channel. And they could just respond with an auto response sort of a thing, not even a call. Now, after these 5 minutes, a brand is 10x less likely to convert a prospect, and 19% of the customers will drop at this stage. So what if you had the ability to be present where your customers are, right? What if you had the ability to stay engaged with them? And that is where companies like Salesforce help you. They help you be present where your customers are. The second moment is in the life of a customer when they do engage or when you engage with them. So at that point in time, are your teams armed with all the historical information? Do you have context of the relationship? Do you know what have been the past transaction? Do you know my lifetime value? And all this information, is it available to you in real time? You may have that information, you may use it retrospectively, but are you able to leverage this information in real time? And you have all this information available at all touch points for you. That is where Salesforce comes in. And the third event is, okay, I researched, I bought, and now I have a problem. Now, a bad service experience would really spoil the entire effort that you've put in acquiring the customer, servicing the customer, engaging with the customer. So every company that thinks of B2C, that thinks of customer experience, cannot treat this as mutually exclusive, right? So whenever you're thinking of your strategies, whenever you're thinking of experiences, think in terms of, are you there when the customer is raising their hand? Are you there when they are trying to engage with you in a manner they expect you to be? And finally, are you there when they have questions? All right. So now, though the entire thing is complex, as I said, in the customer's mind, it is very simple. It's a very natural behavior of a customer to browse something online, then go to the website, go to the store, talk to a service representative, and in his mind, he's doing these things organically, right? The real problem for us as technology providers and for you as brands is these are non-linear, unpredictable, and shared journeys, right? There are a crisscross of social and digital experiences, and the beauty of it is the customer is expecting you to make sense out of all of this, right? Now, when you invest in a technology platform consciously, and that is what we advise our customers, is that when you're thinking of enabling a customer journey, you think in terms of stages. You think that at that touch point, what does the customer expect from you? When I'm in the awareness phase, I expect that your information, one, is easily available to me, whether you know me or not. Am I an anonymous person to you or am I a known person to you? My experience has to look different. Right? When you did not know my preferences, you could have shown me a blanket ad of, here's the new launch or here's the new product. But when you know me, that I'm looking for a particular product, you better personalize my experience. You give me an offer that makes sense for me. And it's, it works in favor of a brand because a 10% discount for a repeat visitor will lead you to a better result than like a 30% blanket discount for everybody that's coming on your website. So that is where technology helps you. It helps you offer a differentiated experience to a person that you know and to a person that you don't know. Coming to the next stage, which is consideration or acquiring, when I'm really buying from you, right? I go into the store, I expect the same product. I don't find the product in the store, I expect an endless aisle. I made the purchase online, I'm fine, I walk to the nearest store, my house, and I expect my order to be ready. So yes, the experience that you have to think about cannot be specific to a channel. You cannot operate in a silo. And the data has to get shared of what are the transactions, what are the preferences across your touch points. So that's what you have to think about when it comes to consideration and acquisition. And finally, as I said, service and then loyalty, right? One and done is not worth your investments. And we all know this 80-20 rule. So loyalty today is not really that for every transaction I make, you give me certain points and that's it. It doesn't benefit me, it doesn't benefit you. So loyalty means really staying engaged. There are products that we buy frequently, So offers are the way to go. There are products like maybe batteries that I buy once in 3 months. You have to stay engaged with me, not 3 months, sorry, 3 years. So you have to stay engaged with me in those 3 years, that at the third year, you are my top of the mind recall. So when you think of a customer journey, you have to think of the touch points and you have to think of the technology that you need at that touch point to enable that experience that you want to give to your customer, which means you invest in a technology which gives you a single view of the customer across this, and not really just give you, it helps you make these insights available to a store rep who's 12th pass, to your CMO who's looking at marketing investments and trying to redo the campaigns that he's already done and optimize those preferences. Finally, so we talked about the journeys, and I'm right on time. We talked about why is it important to invest in a holistic platform. The solution to bridging the gap between a customer expectation and the retailer's or brand's ability to personalize is in a unified engagement platform. And that is what Salesforce prides itself to be. We start with you. We help brands right at the exploration and discovery phase where marketing plays a big role, to browsing and buying where Commerce Cloud plays a big role, to engaging them in your stores where clienteling has a big role to play or endless aisle has a big role to play, then customer service, and finally taking care of loyalty. Now, you don't look beyond any other platform when it comes to servicing the entire gamut of a customer's need. And yeah, so this is what Salesforce is. While it can do everything in the journey, it can give you every stack that you need to enable this personalized, hyper-personalized experiences for your customers. It is built on a public cloud. It has Einstein, which is inbuilt. It's not complicated. It's built in a way that is marketer-friendly. And it gives you that customer 360-degree view. So this is where Salesforce can help brands like yourselves. This is what Salesforce brings to the table, and it prides itself in trust, privacy, security that businesses look for, and scale and speed that customers look for. Thank you very much.